Okay, so now we can barely see it. I mean, still there, obvious, but now we're just gonna start blending, and that's gonna go away by the time we're done blending. And if not, we can always just put more on that little spot. Even after blending, it should be okay. And the way we're gonna blend is, I have these marks made here. We're gonna go from our first pass. It's gonna be from this to this right here. This is where we came when we were painting the repair area. This is how far we came up to here. So we're gonna even it out all the way up from the top to the bottom, and then same thing on this side. Then our second pass is gonna be from this one, going from here to this to the second mark here. It's gonna be there, but there was nowhere I could mark, but we're gonna go to there. And then our final pass will be from here. But this final pass, we're gonna stop at random places between these two, because we don't want to have one line here, obvious line going here. So like we would come here, we would stop here and this top pass, and then at the bottom we would start maybe from a little bit back, and then the bottom one would stop here, you know, so forth. We're gonna make it random. Same thing on this final pass down here, especially this one is closer to the rear quarter panel, so we really don't want to go closer to that. So we're gonna kind of go at an angle here, and then also make it random in the middle. Okay. Okay, time for our second pass. Okay, so things are going good as planned, besides this little area. This is where I started painting, and I guess my hand wasn't moving fast enough, so right there when I started spraying, and right around there when I started spraying there, you can see how there's more paint there, so it's more shiny because of the perils on the paint. So what I'm going to do is just go over that area a couple times, try to even that out, then just blend this top part a little bit up to here, so that blends in. But the rest of it is good, so I'm just gonna blend the rest of it as planned, and then that area is just gonna get a lot of extra attention. Hopefully I can hide that somehow. Okay, I think I was able to kind of salvage the situation. It's hard to see anything now. There's no blobs of paint, and nothing is standing out. As far as the color match, it's going to be hard to say. I mean, the blending, it's going to be hard to say until we put some clear coat on it, but it looks decent enough. I think you would really have to look for it by the time we got some clear coat on it to be able to tell that you know, the color change. And yeah, our repair area isn't showing it either, so that's good. And yeah, everything else looks set. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to pick it up on camera, but yeah, we stopped at random places anywhere around here. I even went over it a little bit on this top part since we had more room to blend. And the lower area I stopped kind of there. And same thing on this side, stopped at random places around here. Alright, and yeah, so far so good. That is not Bondo, that's just the plastic trim piece just got squashed in right there. So in case you're wondering, I know people out there are going to be like, yo, you should have taken it out and replaced that thing. But I don't know, maybe when we're done I might try to cut that with the razor blade, make it look better, but we'll see. That's not important. And the main part was fixing the dent and painting the panels, which is so far so good. And so we're going to tack this down, and you usually have about 24 hours before you can put you have to wait anywhere from 1 hour to 24 hours before you can put clear coat on. I gotta go somewhere, so I'm gonna call it a day as far as this goes. So I'm gonna put the clear coat on this tomorrow, and yeah, so we're just gonna tack it down and then tack it down again once tomorrow before we put the clear coat on. And one thing to note is wax and grease remover, you don't want to go anywhere near it after you put your first coat of base coat on. You only use tack cloths. It's probably a given, but I figured I'd throw that in there just in case people are wondering. So yeah, wax and grease remover, you don't touch that after you put your first coat of base coat on, and that's it. So you only deal with tack cloths, and then when you're done with your base coat and you put clear coat on, you don't even use tack cloths. So you got to make sure it's really clean before you start clear coating it. Okay. Oh, and it should go without saying, you want to clean your gun, as I showed you in the first video. Right after you put your base coat down, you don't want to let it sit. It's going to dry, and then cleaning it is going to be a mess. Plus, your clear coat is going to be really much more sensitive to contaminants. So yeah, make sure you clean it thoroughly. Okay, so now it's time to put in our clear coat. And I got, you will need to mix your clear coat with hardener, and they usually, for clear coats, it's usually 41. For every 4 parts of clear coat, you'll need 1 part of hardener. Again, this is where these cups come in handy. For 41 you got this, so you know, you put your clear coat first, and then let's say you go to 4 here, and then for hardener, it's the next one over, and you should be good, okay? Also, for this clear coat, I think this cost me about 40 bucks, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we just mix this up, and we're gonna strain it when we put it in our gun, and then we're gonna tack the panels down, and we're gonna start spraying. Okay, and also for the clear coat, I've increased the pressure a little bit from about 70 to about 85 to 90. Just my experience just gives it's just a better result. So don't forget to tack it down. I already did it. Oh, and by the way, you want to do about 3 to 4 medium wet coats. Maybe the first coat you want to just go on a little light, and then after the second, third, and fourth coat you want to do medium, because we're gonna be wet sanding and buffing this, so you want plenty of clear coat on there. Okay. Oh, and between each coat you'll have to wait about 15 to 20 minutes. Coat number 2. Coat number 3. Okay, final coat. Okay, so we just finished spraying our last coat. As you may or may not be able to see, it's kind of dull, and that's given, especially since we're using this not the strongest of compressors, you know. And here's a better, you can tell this better. This top part is okay, but you should be able to see the letters on this box through the reflection, but you can't. It's even worse down here. It's really dull. But that's why you're gonna have to wet sand and buff this to get the right texture, the right shine, comparable to the adjacent panels. So we're gonna let this sit for a good couple of hours. Then we're gonna start taking the tape off. Be really careful while this is sitting and when you're taking tape off, because if you're not careful and if you touch these panels, you're gonna ruin the clear coat. You're gonna leave prints and whatnot. So even better if you let it sit overnight, then take the tape off. That way you're sure you're not gonna ruin the the clear coat. And for wet sanding and buff it, we're gonna have to wait at least 24 hours. So also keep that in mind. But I say to take off the tape about 3 or 4 hours, because it's you know, while this is still kind of wet, it's there's less chance of while you take the tape off, of ruining the paint and taking the clear coat off with it, because it's still kind of wet. Or you can also, if you wait 24 hours before you take the tape off, you can also run like razors around all the edges, you know, between the paint and the tape. Make sure they all separated, so when you go to peel it off, you don't peel off the paint with it. Alright, so yeah, I'll see you next when I've taken all the masking tape off and we're ready to start sanding and buffing. Alright guys, so it's the next day and we got the car out of the garage and it looks pretty good. At least the paint looks pretty good. It matches, you know, we blended it in good. It doesn't look like, you can't tell that these two panels have been painted from the color. So the color blends into the adjacent panels. I mean, well, we blended it into these panels, but once you look at them at an angle or try to pick up the color difference, you can't pick up the color difference. But these two panels need to be wet sanded and buffed next, because since we didn't have the good enough air compressor, they came out really dull. But nothing a lot of elbow grease can't fix. So yep. Also, we get some dirt in the clear coat. That's just the, you know, something that's you're gonna have to deal with since you're not painting in a, you know, professional booth. So yeah, but yeah, you know, I'm sure when we sand and buff it, it's gonna look really good. So that's what I'm gonna show you how to do next.